All right, welcome back to Soulful Journeys, where we explore all things spiritual. Where I left off in my journey was me discussing or talking about my first love and how we met, um, which, you know, at the time it wasn't necessarily just a blooming love story. It was kind of like puppy love. I saw him playing football, and he saw me and was crushing on me. I didn't realize until maybe a month or two that he was crushing on me, and it didn't. Our story of how we end up getting together did not take off until later on as we were older. But we did build a bond and a mutual friendship. So all of us were kind of, a big friend group, you should say, as to say, big friend group. And so um, after that, I started high school, had a boyfriend there for about 2.5 seconds. Very insignificant thing. As it turned out, my high school years was not very successful when it came to dating and boys and all of that, because I came into high school with some restrictions set in place for me, which probably was a good thing now that I think about it. Um, a lot of people were scared of my older brother and what he would do if if he found out that they were dating, probably because they didn't have good intentions anyway. And so I just remember one day I was walking past his house, which his house is significant further down in my story. But this guy had came outside and he stopped me and wanted to talk to me. Now, this was not, I don't believe I had started school at that point, but I either had started school or I was getting ready to start school. And this particular person had stopped me and literally chased me down to get my number. And I gave him my number and we talked for a little bit, and he asked me, he was like, "Hey, where you from?" And we're just, chopping it up. And finally, he asked me, "Well, what school do you go to?" And I told him I'm going to be starting Ike, or I was attending Ike. And he was like, "Well, who do you know up there?" And so I mentioned my brother's name, and he immediately snatched the number out of my hand. So it was real. It was very real. I did not have, like I said, I didn't have success because people knew that my brother wasn't playing with them when it came to school. So, now some of you probably ask, well, where was your brother with all these other incidents when this happened? He was nowhere to be found when the incident happened with my friend's ex um, boyfriend. Okay, so this was something that happened when I was with my best friend at the time. Anyway, and he did not know about it. He didn't know. Like I said, my parents didn't know. So yeah. And if you're wondering why, with me telling the stories now, why I'm not bawling and in tears or choked up about it, um, I have spent what feels like a lifetime of crying and suppressing and trying to rationalize, trying to sort through my thoughts, trying to cope, trying to forget everything, every emotion that I could possibly have dealing with these situations. I probably have already processed and dealt with. And so I am to the point to where I have very little tears. I have very little emotions when it comes to these things anymore. Now, that is not to say that a reminder pops up or something happens that triggers these emotions and they come out of nowhere, and I'm boohoo crying, and or that I don't sit in my thoughts sometimes and just really think about it, right? It doesn't go away. It never goes away. But as you begin to heal, you kind of learn how to carry any baggage and just take that baggage and just set it down, right? Because I don't have to carry it every day. I don't have to deal with that anymore because I'm not sitting in that space. I'm a lot happier now, and I don't have to relive that every day. So that's why. Because I'm sure, you're going to be like, oh, she's just tough cookie or she's either real cold and, but no, it's not that. It's that I've really taken a lot of time to make sure that I sit in that pain and make sure that I process those thoughts. And I have been working on healing. And because I've done that, it makes it a lot easier to talk about it. And so I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to continue on in the next video to explain what happened. So the alarm popped up just as I was about to stop the video, but I just wanted to add, I went off to high school and didn't complete a full year of high school in Cali before I had to move. And so the next part of the journey was me visiting Chicago for a month, and then visiting Michigan for a month, and then moving on to Chicago. So stay tuned for the rest.